Hi everybody, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Power of Knowing Forum's Knowledge Nexus Talks today, a LinkedIn Live episode 205. We are discussing on a topic of agentic AI and the human connection, lessons for a smarter future. To have this topic discussed, we have the honor of Araf Karsh Hamid, enterprise, an entrepreneur, author, speaker, architect, and co-founder and CTO for MetaMagic Global Inc. Without further ado, let's bring our esteemed speaker onto the podcast event. Araf,
Yeah, hi Prem.
hi, good evening. Welcome to
Good.
our show, sir.
Thank you for having me, Prem.
Yeah.
And it's good to
Uh,
be here because this is the third time I'm coming, right?
Welcome, sir. We want leaders who have shared their knowledge on most of the pointers that we want to look at to the audience. And AI is one topic that is catching up a lot of attention nowadays. And
Yeah,
we wanted to bring you back to talk on something on that topic. So we are here. Let's start the session with the few questions that I have in mind for today's discussion, Araf.
yeah, sure.
AI is evolving from reactive to an agentic. Agentic, what does this shift mean for businesses and professionals in real world or real teams?
Okay, yeah. No, I think that's a good question. Good way to get started off. Right. So, if you look at, let's take both the cases, right? The reactive side of the story, right? So, so most of the solutions, like for example, let's say an AI based chatbot, right? It's user driven. That means user ask give a request, and based on the request, the AI will give the response back. So you can say the Apple Siri or Alexa, Amazon Alexa, they're all reactive based. It's all user driven AI solutions, right? Based on the user's instructions, AI will come back, right, and then give the response. Okay.
Hmm.
Now from there, the way it's going to move forward in the future is the agentic AI. I mean, there's a lot of confusion in the industry, like a lot of solutions. Now they're labeling it agentic AI, but then that's not exactly agentic AI. So let me give an example of that. Before all this hype started, right?
Hmm.
I mean, this all this agentic hype started. You can say, just maybe a few months back, especially after ChatGPT and you have AI agents from Satya Nadella, the Microsoft CEO, talking about AI agents. The way it's going to replace all the SaaS solutions, right? So there's a lot of and then the impact of AI agents in 2025 basically. So before that, let me give an example of there's a company called Blue River Technologies. It's a US based company. So they come up with a solution, like one of the issues in agriculture in US, right? It's amount of herbicides they have to do, in terms of getting rid of weeds and everything, right, in farming basically. So that actually increases the number of the chemicals in the agriculture, right? And then it's actually giving negative effect basically. Okay, because you are doing the chemicals in the entire agriculture area. So this Blue River technology, they come up with an AI solution. So what the AI solution was basically, using machine learning and vision, the vision based approach, they come up with a solution, a robot which can understand, look at the plant, understand the weed, what type of weed it is, and it can, based on that weed, it can put the herbicide, and then for the good plants, it put the fertilizer. So it can, each plant can look at it and it can do that with, and that was a big success, right? So this came you can say, this came around 5 years ago basically, and then the company got acquired by one of the largest agriculture equipment supplier in the US, and that was a pretty good success story, right? So if you look at that particular solution, right, it is fully AI driven, machine learning algorithms and everything driven. It understand it based on the vision. It understand the what type of plant it is, what kind of weed it's been infected by, what what's the kind of infection, and then it applies the right amount of herbicide to solve the problem. And if the plant is not infected, then it will put the necessary fertilizer and it move forward. So there's a lot of cost savings and everything. So if you look at it, that's a very specific autonomous system.
Hmm.
It knows exactly, like it perceive what's happening in that particular area. It understand that, and it act according to the what is being required basically. Okay, so if you look at it, this is also an AI agent. What Satyendrana was talking about, what's going to happen in the software world. Okay, now agentic AI, now like I said, now there's a lot of hype happening in that area. So agentic AI is something much bigger than what I was talking about, the Blue River technology basically, right? So
Okay.
they call that as a see and spray. That's a label they gave basically. And then the industry, the Wall Street, everybody was talking about agentic AI, because it was an autonomous system. So if you really look at it, agentic AI, it's a full-blown autonomous system. It's not just one specific area. It
Hmm.
should be able to take a lot of different decisions. It can take a decision based on something is changed without a human intervention. So that kind of system is not at there in the industry, but then that's where we are heading towards basically.
As you said, AI systems are becoming more autonomous.
That's right.
How
Yeah.
how do we ensure they have enhance rather than replace?
No,
We,
yeah, actually, again, that's a good question. So, let me give you another example over here. Let's say when the industrial revolution started, right? I mean, everything, then there are mechanical stuff, right? Factories, mechanical stuff, right? Which is completely new to the, humans, right? So we used to, okay, all this mechanical stuff, right, can replace humans, and then humans will not have any job, right? But then
yeah,
eventually, if you look at what happened in the last 150 years, we embrace that mechanical stuff. Like for example, previously, people used to use horse or bullock carts to go from place A to place B.
yeah,
Okay, but your distance is very small, right? Because you can't, go far basically. Okay,
yeah.
but then with the bikes and cars, right, you can go much farther distance and much faster. So it's actually enhanced your the capabilities.
I can tell you one more thing, saying that this is one common thing that I've heard is we, as you rightly said, adoption, right? Adoption of technology, adoption of enhancements.
Mhm.
Now we were into those dialed phones, right, where we used to
Mhm.
dial.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
then you got a handset which you had buttons. We got
that's right.
adopted to it,
Yeah.
right? And
Mhm.
then came the
Smartphones.
mobile phones which were
That,
only having a dial pad where you can see the number and dial.
that's right.
Single line. Then there came a two-line thing. Then it started. Today, the numbers and other things have gone, and it is but software only where you have the numbers. When you click only, the text or the keyboard comes up. That
That's
was
right.
not the initial stage. So adoption is very critical, is what I think. What you are saying. Can we share a moment in your career where human intention outperformed AI, and what lessons did we take from that experience? Because uh, what you feed is what the AI system would give, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, because I'm coming from a very hardcore tech background, right? I use AI a lot in terms of my research and everything, right? But
Hmm.
especially I tried AI in terms of code generation, things like that. So what I realized is I mean, I'm talking about the way it is currently right now. Okay, so even though it generates codes and everything, no, it doesn't mean that no, it will be 100% perfect code. There
Hmm.
are a lot of times, it's going to be only 70%, right? So the key part is there's a lot of times, you have to give your input to get it on the right track.
Ask right questions, maybe.
Exactly. Ask right questions, guide correctly. So the key aspect is something which you can do in 8 hours can be done in 1 hour because of the AI's involvement. Okay. So basically, you are guiding the AI, ensuring that no AI does its job right, in the in the right way, so that you don't have to spend 8 hours doing the stuff. You can do it in maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour, basically.
So I was part of one conference of Microsoft Copilot.
Mm-hmm.
So where we saw was how Copilot is helping people to
Yeah.
increase productivity. So that discussion, what happened was, see, now you are an entrepreneur,
Mm-hmm.
a business owner, or somebody, and you are not in a position to look at constantly being on the go for approvals and some of the key critical issues that you need to address. So what I understood from that discussion was that AI, the Copilot Pro version that is there, can integrate everything to this one, and it can give you things like priority one. These are the things that has to go. These are the approvals that are pending and stuff. So that's one thing that what we are thinking, or what we are seeing is. But one important point which was mentioned in that discussion was it will give you insights,
Mm-hmm.
give you pointers to take decision, but it will not take decisions. The importance is it will give you an analysis. Whether you go by that analysis or you don't go by the analysis, it's a human's decision. AI
Mm-hmm.
will not take the decision. So that's one thing that I was looking at. What are some unexpected industries where agentic AI is making a real difference today?
You see, the area which it can make a big difference, like for example, supply chain and the manufacturing one, right? Now based on what's happening in that area right now, it can do a lot of work in terms of automating and decision making rather than humans making the decisions. Let's say handling the inventory, right? The entire supply chain pipeline, right? And then same is the case with the retail. So if you look at retail industry right now, especially the warehouse, right, there's a big impact happening in those areas, especially with AI, autonomous agents coming up, or AI agents coming up, and then coming together with the robotic basically. So these industries, there's a big impact in these industries.
So how can AI powered decision making improve leadership? That is one thing that I want to understand from you. And where should leaders still rely for human instincts?
Yeah, see, like I said, we haven't reached area where we can give 100% everything to AI to take decisions, right? I mean, we are getting over there. I mean, it's going to happen in certain areas, right? But then the key aspect over here is from a leadership perspective, the usage of AI in their day-to-day life, right? It's going to augment your the see any decisions leadership takes, right? It's based on the data basically, right? Because data is a key part, right? So AI can play a big role in understanding this data, analyzing the data, summarizing the data, and giving it back to you, in a way so that it's much easier for you to take critical decisions. So it can literally fast track your decision capabilities from a leadership perspective compared to the previous, you can say. So those capabilities, will be very it will be exponentially going up
Hmm.
in the next 1 or 2 years.
Can you share an example where AI driven driving better workspace, culture, collaboration, or inclusion?
See, okay. Now, if you look at from I mean, again, that's the tough area to crack, right? So again, coming back, see, if you embrace AI, rather than looking at AI as a threat, right? Then what happens is basically, the entire team's productivity will exponentially will go up,
Hmm.
right? But if you consider AI as a threat and try to keep it away or try to dodge away from the AI, say, okay, no, I'm really good in programming, so I'm not going to use AI, right? Then no, I mean, there's going to be issues over there. But if you embrace AI as a team and then start using that, right, then the overall team's productivity go up. You can spend more time with your family, right? Something like I said, no, something you can do it in 2 days, right? With the help of AI, right? You can do it in less time, basically.
So, so predominantly what we are saying is it is going to increase productivity compared to stopping the mundane jobs that we are going to do. And this can improve performance, time, and the culture also to be part of it. And that's where we are heading, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
What are the biggest misconceptions about AI that professions still have, and how do we change those professionals' narrative?
Yeah, see, if you, let's say, let's talk about 2025 right now, right? So if you assume that AI is going to be perfect, that assumption is not true. It may
Hmm.
not be perfect, right? Like I said, no, whatever the AI is going to give to you, you need to verify at this point in time. The certain areas you can go ahead, but then you have to still wait to ensure that that's correct, right? Especially in a business world, right? Accuracy is very important,
Hmm.
right? So you need to verify that, and then and take a look at the output, and then move forward with it, and then keep on giving the feedback back to the AI, saying, okay, this output was perfect, it was accurate. So in that way, AI also can learn a lot, right? In that entire journey along with the humans, basically.
Okay. So coming to the next point, that what I want to understand is every every implementation or an adoption
Hmm.
has hidden pitfalls, right?
Hmm.
What are the hidden pitfalls of over relying on AI in decision making, and how can this be avoided by the businesses?
Yeah. So let me give it an example from IBM.
Hmm.
Okay, so IBM introduced IBM Watson Healthcare sometime back. I think
Yeah.
many years back. There was a big, right? But then over a period of time, IBM realized that no, it's not. Even though it achieved certain level of proficiency in everything, right? Still it is not that perfect. In terms of its output, right? So there's a requirement of the healthcare professionals input is required to keep improving it,
Hmm.
right? So so today's, if you look at that's why if you look at the technologies for rags and everything, right, came into picture because AI, in today's world, the AI has become popular because of large language models,
Yeah.
right? So that plays a big role. But then the issue with large language models is basically it will have hallucinate, it can create stuff which is not there,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
now that's where the rack comes into picture, where you ensure that that problem is in certain way it's taken care, and by bringing your own data, so that the accuracy level goes up, right? But then you have to still ensure that the hallucination is completely removed. So that verification mechanism plays a big role, whether you pass it to another level of AI to verify the data, or you humanly verify, right, to ensure that the output is correct. So that's one area, to be again from a business perspective, that's a very critical area. They need to look at it.
What are some, or what are most of the risks of disruption from AI, and what should professionals in these fields
So
today?
let me, yeah, I think, yeah, let me just look at from what's happening in software development side. It's right.
Yeah.
What Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg said sometime back. Just maybe a month back, or a few weeks or month back. He said most of the mid-level engineers in Meta will be replaced with an AI. That
Hmm.
means AI is going to do the code by end of this year,
Okay.
right? So that itself is a massive, set of disruption from software engineering perspective, right? So a
Hmm.
lot of areas, right now, AI is going to replace humans from that perspective. But then if we start embracing AI, right, and then start using that to improve the productivity in whichever the domain you are in, right, whether you are in software engineering or you are in marketing or sales, right now, then your productivity it's going to go up, right? And then it's going to help the right. So there will be a lot of old jobs will vanish, but a lot of new set of jobs is going to come up,
Hmm.
right? So most of the, again, if you come back to engineering civil, lot of engineers will lose job who they don't, if they don't embrace AI. But if they embrace AI, you will be, in another level altogether.
Now, looking at ChatGPT embracement itself, we are not talking about a big change that has happened, but the way we look at writing a letter, or some of the way that we want to get kind of a research that you want to do on this one, to fetch data and bring out a document out on ChatGPT, is
Hmm.
predominantly very good. What's your take on that?
Yeah, see, Chat GPT changed the field, 2 years back, right? When the Chat
Mm,
GPT got announced, basically. Okay.
yeah.
So after that, I don't know if you, if you look at the Nvidia CEO, um, what he said in the recent interview, and even Microsoft Satya Nadella, right? Both of them said that they use an AI as part of, it's part of their daily life, right? They
Mm,
heavily
mm.
use AI in their day-to-day work they do, basically, right? So with the arrival of ChatGPT, right, everything is changed in the last 2 years. And now, with the arrival of DeepSeek, just got announced by China in 2 weeks. Yeah, barely you can say a week or 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
It completely changed the landscape because ChatGPT was an expensive solution,
Mm,
right? Because you need a very high-end NVIDIA chips, right? Thousands of chips running to do the everything, and billions of dollars, right? And the Chinese did in just under $6 billion.
okay.
And
So
not
you are
only that,
saying DeepSeek is another AI tool which is changing the way things are happening from China, and that's done more disruption than what ChatGPT
yeah,
did.
and not only that, some of the things which DeepSeek introduced in terms of, one is, they made it open source and free, so that
Hmm.
everybody can take DeepSeek. And then I think that was the reason why, India is also Indian government announced that they're going to put DeepSeek in some of the servers. India is going to host DeepSeek in Indian servers, basically, right? For
Okay.
Indians to use it, right? So we can, because it's completely open source and free. But the most interesting part, which I like from DeepSeek perspective, some of the architecture decisions they took. If you look at ChatGPT, right, it's predominantly, or any LLMs today, right, it's predominantly done based on the transformer architecture, right,
Hmm.
which is actually created by Google, right? I think somewhere in 2017 or something like that, right? And then so it's basically, it's a pre-trained data, right? You have a huge amount of data, and the data has been understood, it's been tokenized, and it's been trained. It's got a lot of weights, and you can generate text out of that the transformer pre-trained data, basically, right? Now, what DeepSeek did is basically, and then that's, another one from a machine learning perspective. Um, it's a supervised fine tuning, right?
Hmm.
It's called SFT, basically, right? So so that means there are humans involved in ensuring that, those parameters are tuned, right? So, and then, it's the LLM is created. But what DeepSeek did is they introduced reinforcement learning, which means the AI can learn by itself, right? So they introduced an algorithm called group relative policy optimization, where when it keeps learning, it keeps rewarding the AI if the answer is correct or wrong, but depends upon, what's the probability of answer being correct and wrong, right? And then over a period of time, it improves, and then, finally come, right. So that's what, I think the Western world got stunned, right? The way, one is the low cost, right? Instead of billions of dollars, they were able to do it in less than $6 billion. And then, and their concept of introducing the reinforcement learning into the LLM world, that's a major breakthrough, right? So
Okay.
everybody is taking a look at that. That's why I think Microsoft, Meta, everybody is, looking at, and they publish that algorithms, papers, and everything open source. So everything is available for the entire world to learn, right?
Okay.
So that's a big change happened in the AI world,
So
basically.
this has happened about 2 weeks now.
Yeah, just 2 weeks. It's completely changed the entire AI landscape. So
Okay.
what I heard is Facebook was supposed to come up with Llama 4.
Okay.
Now they drop the plan and then they are looking at what DeepSeek did, and
Uh-huh.
then and DeepSeek, they have a concept of a distilled version. What it means is basically, it's like a teacher is teaching a student, right, and then a student having a knowledge at par with teacher,
Okay.
right? So that's that kind of a concept they introduced, right? And then the DeepSeek, like for example, I have DeepSeek running on my laptop with I think 13 billion parameters, right? And then which is running on Quen 2.5, or it runs on Facebook's Llama 3.1, right? So it runs on other open source models, but then it was trained by a DeepSeek.
Okay. Great insights on that. So coming to the part of where empathy and leadership comes when it is to AI,
Mhm.
can AI be truly empathetic, or will human-centric leadership will have always an edge?
Yeah, I know. So expecting AI to be empathic at this point in time, right? Or maybe from my perspective, we should never consider that point at all. Like AI will never be empathetic with humans. Like even tomorrow, let's say 2 years down the line, if AI becomes intelligent, a
Hmm.
sentient being, there's no way now. I mean, there's no guarantee that it can be empathetic with humans,
Okay.
because its intellectual level will be completely something which we won't be able to understand.
Hmm.
So then why should it be empathetic with us? That's why
Right.
a lot of people are going to be like, so the empathy part comes from our side of the story,
Hmm.
right? So we should not, I mean, like I said, even if it becomes sentient, right, intelligent, super intelligent, right, they call it, the AGI part, right? No, don't expect it that to be empathetic with from a human perspective.
Hmm.
I mean, that's my personal opinion, right? So we have to be very careful, in that aspect. So that story has to come from our side of the equation.
So when you are saying why it should be human-centric, you are saying it is the questions that we ask, or it's the topics that we ask. There is no question for an empathy to be playing role here. Is that what we are saying in another sense?
Yes, that's correct. See, if I say the current technology, right, the way it works, right,
Hmm.
it's a highly sophisticated pattern matching system.
Okay.
If you look at the entire transformer architecture, right, it's a highly sophisticated pattern matching system. Okay. Now,
Hmm.
what the AI need to learn, or what the AI need to evolve is busy. You need to understand concepts.
Hmm.
Okay. So there are a lot of research happening in that area, where it's called large concept models, where AI understand concept, because without understanding concept, right, it can't become super intelligent.
Okay.
Right. So understanding the concept means, like if I say that, okay, um, um, if I say I love coffee compared to tea, right?
Hmm.
It's not just a couple of sentences, right? And AI should understand what it means,
Hmm.
right?
Okay.
So we haven't reached that. So there's a lot of research is happening. Once that we close that boundary, right? Once AI understand concept, right? Then now the intelligence will go into a completely
So
different.
your point of saying is, if I give you the right answers also at the moment, what it takes is the number of pointers that you are trying to say your coffee example, right? There are hundreds of varieties of coffees that it has to look at. So what coffee are you asking? Is that the way we are looking at it, or is there something different that I just want to just have a clarification on that? So.
Yeah. So see, the key part is, like, when somebody says, no, I like coffee, right? There's an emotion, or there's a lot of things behind that, right?
Hmm.
What that statement mean, right? But when an AI talks about, gives you an answer, right?
Mhm.
It gives you an answer from the existing knowledge it's having. It doesn't understand the concept of somebody liking your coffee.
Okay. So you are saying in such a way that if you say you are liking coffee, it may say yes or no, but it does not know an emotion to say why you are liking a
Yeah.
coffee. Is
So
that what you're saying?
yeah, let me give with a real life example, right?
Okay.
We train. I mean, you would have seen the airport, right? We train Labradors, right, to search for bombs, search for drugs, and everything.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
it's well trained,
Hmm.
and and then it can go and, sniff that and then, right? But that doesn't mean that dog understand what it's doing.
Okay. Okay.
I- I-
Got your
I-
point.
right? So
Yeah.
it's well trained, so it can pick it up whichever way right now, in whichever circumstance it will be able to pick it up, right? But it doesn't understand the meaning of what it is doing.
Hmm.
We know why we are doing that, right?
The pointer that I can take is we know what is the outcome, but the dog does not know why it is doing. Is that what we are saying?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay. Okay. Got it. What traits will define the most successful leaders for a AI-driven future?
Yeah, see, adapting to new things, new technology, right? It's a very key trait, right? And embracing new things and testing it out, and see. I mean, of course, anything new, right? It's cutting edge. It's going to bleed basically.
Hmm.
That's why it's called cutting edge, right? So this is the key part. Is, you are to see how exactly this can be used for the organizational benefit, right, or improve productivity, right? Like I said, and then again, we human need to bring the empathy part of the story. So if you say, okay, I'm going to use this and I'm going to kick out 30% of my staff, so my bottom line is going to increase. I mean, that may not be the right path basically,
Okay.
right? So instead of doing that, you can say, okay, my goal was to hire maybe this many number of people, right? 100 people in the next 2 years, but maybe I'll increase the productivity of my existing team. So instead of hiring 100, I might need to hire only 50 or 30.
Okay.
So in that way, right now you are showing, you're supporting your team, right? That's where the human empathy, human connection comes into picture. You're increasing your bottom line because you're improving the productivity, right? And then you are obviously you are hiring more people too in the future basically,
Okay.
right? So those are things, from AI, I mean, leadership. Like, I mean, I know a lot of controversial statements coming up. People saying, some of the top CEOs saying, we should work all the 7 days a week, and things like that, right? But I'm saying, there's no empathy towards, the people who are actually, doing the work basically.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So got that point. How can leaders balance AI driven efficiency with human connection again to avoid creating a soulless workspace? Because when you said on the initial part where you said why it should be empathetic, right? So when you start bringing AI, I think most of the conversations will be you give me something, I give you an output, right? So, how do you look at leaders bringing more empathetic pointer there while being driven by AI?
Yeah, see, it's the same, sentiment, or the same philosophy, which I'm saying. So if you look at, you take any job in today's world, right? Now, let me give one personal experience. Okay,
Mm.
around some time back, right? I had a very severe. Um, uh, I think maybe when we met, I think last conference, right? That time, I had a very severe toothache.
Yeah,
Okay,
you told
so
me.
so I was searching for a painkiller a tablet that day, and then I got it, and then after that, I did my session basically. Okay, but then
Yeah.
after that, I went to the hospital for treatment, and the dentist, the doctor, give me a lot of stuff, and then finally, I got a report basically, right? It's all medical jargons, okay.
Mm, mm.
In one of the jargon was C plus plus, the three plus plus were there basically, okay.
Okay.
So I didn't understood any of those things what the doctor was saying, right? So I uploaded that into the chat GPT, and I told chat GPT to analyze this report and give me a natural language, common man understanding way of explaining these things to me. Okay, chat
Okay.
GPT did that, analyzed that properly, right? Did that. Then I said, okay, now I understand. Now I'm able to understand what this report means. Okay, now what are the suggestions? So
Hmm.
ChatGPT said, okay, it's better to take an X-ray.
Okay.
Okay, I forgot it, the typical X-ray name, right? And then that'll give a lot of clarity on what the next steps.
Mm.
So I went back to the hospital. Then I
Okay.
told the doctor to do an X-ray.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and doctor was really surprised. I
Okay.
said, no, so doctor, it was just a matter of 500 rupees. So doctor did the X-ray, and then using the X-ray, the doctor started explaining. I said,
Okay.
this is what you should have done in the first place.
Hmm.
That's the first thing. Second thing is, rather than giving a very cryptic report, right, which is all medical terms, we should have given me a report like the chat GPT given. Right? You don't expect everybody to be a dentist, right, to understand all the medical terms.
Yeah, I take your point from a medical report per se, where we don't understand most of the things that are
Yeah.
there.
So I'm saying in every field, right? You'll be able to. I mean, go to I mean, let's say if you want to buy a house, right? There'll be a dozen page of legal documents you have to go through, and
Hmm.
you won't be able to understand the head or tail of the documents also.
It happens with the same with the insurance when you take, right? When you take an insurance for you as a medical or anything, you start getting a 100-page document which you have to read. Rather than reading, we just say, I agree and sign it and move on.
That's right, right? So
Yeah,
you need to, so you look at AI as a companion to help you out in all these areas, right? Because you can't be an expert in all these areas, right?
true.
But an AI can be an expert. So if you look at from that perspective, right, like any job perspective, right? What AI can do is basically, so you are driving the stuff,
Hmm.
you are giving the right prompts, you are focusing on what exactly you want, right, and you are asking the further questions, right? So it's a conversation,
Yeah.
right? So that's why I said, no, if the Nvidia CEO, right, and the Satya Nadella Microsoft CEO say that no, AI is their companion day-to-day productivity, AI has to be companion irrespective of whether you are working in an organization or not.
Okay.
It should become your companion, and then if the moment it becomes your see, today nobody will ask you whether you have a vehicle, right?
Hmm. Yeah. True.
It's part of your stuff, right? Right? You don't walk to your office,
True.
right? So like that, right? This is another set of you can say machine which will help you to fast track anything what you want to learn, understand, right? And then and improve your productivity basically.
Great insights there, Raf. So, what is one, can we think of an out of box way professionals can leverage AI today to simplify work and unlock creativity?
Yeah. So let me give another example over here, right? When all these things were happening right now, a couple of months back, and I was talking to somebody else, again, he's in very high position, one of the MNCs in India.
Hmm.
So he's also into the AI space. So we do brainstorming on what AI can do and things like that, right? So this happened in the last week of December before yeah, I think after Christmas. So one thing what I told you today, if I had to go for a movie with my family, okay,
Hmm.
I had to spend at least an hour and a half to figure out which theater I had to go, right? What the music system, whether it's DTS or Atmos, right? Which area it is, what is the traffic pattern over there, right? So at least and is the seats available the way I want where the seat to be, right? So I had
Hmm.
to spend at least an hour and a half to 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 book the tickets basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was wondering, so I was discussing this with him last month. Saying, okay, imagine if I created an AI agent where it understand my stuff. So I said, okay, book 3 tickets for my family for this particular movie. It knows exactly which all theaters I frequently visit based
Okay.
on my previous experience, right? And then what kind of seats I book based on my previous, and what's the traffic at that particular time in that particular. If I say okay, book a ticket in between time from let's say 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's the instructions I give.
So,
Okay,
what you are saying is this kind of an information can fetch you data where AI can be used and say this is the nearest place that you can go visit for a
not
movie.
only that, not only that. So this is the discussion. It should book the ticket and come back.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Now, ChatGPT already launched that a week back. It's called ChatGPT operators.
Okay. Is
So
it available in India?
I don't think they made it publicly available in India because it can go and do what also. It actually uses browsers to the way the humans you should watch that the demo. The way you browse the browser, it does that. It books the ticket.
This is the link that you shared last week with me, saying that this is the. So I'll do one thing. I'll check your message and I'll
Yeah, yeah,
put that on the this one as a video. Give me a second.
yeah.
Yeah, you continue. Go ahead. I'll
Yeah.
meanwhile I pull up
So
the link.
so
Yeah.
there will be tons of operators coming up, which are I call it as AI agents,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then it's built under the agentic AI principle, but it's not fully agentic AI, but it's all AI agent. It can do a lot of autonomous stuff. It can take
Okay.
decisions. It can do the stuff right, and it can do a lot of stuff automatically without the human intervention, and come back and say, okay, I did this now. Maybe you can put one more thing in your prompt. Okay, don't worry about my confirmation. If you find the right answer, go ahead and do it. Or I can say, okay, instead of once you finalize something, just take my confirmation and then book it. So
Okay.
I can either I can make the operator 100% autonomous, or I can make the operator do everything till the last moment and then take a last moment validation from me before you proceed further.
So I've put that this one on the chat where that's a YouTube link. Okay, so
Yeah,
I pasted it on what Araf was talking about, the operator that what has been launched by ChatGPT. That's a YouTube link, and I was fascinated the way that it takes up the way things can be automatically set and end to end, right? Where it selects, tells you, and gives you options whether once you confirm the booking also is done if the card and other things are getting integrated. Am I right in saying that, Raf?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, yesterday they launched another one, ChatGPT again, right?
Mhm.
Where it can again, that's again a long process, right? Now, it's like another set of operators, right? It
Mhm.
can do a lot of research based on your prompt, and
Okay.
then come back and give a proper report with tables, headlines, summary, executive summary, like the way you prepare a document to the top management.
Okay.
Let's say you have to do a report, right, on a certain research area, and then you have to come back and then summarize everything, maybe write a 5 or 12-page report, and then give it back to now the new thing which the ChatGPT announced yesterday, right? Now it can do that, and then it can come up with a proper report
Okay.
with the report with the title, right, with the executive summary. It can have charts, it can have images, right, everything combined basically. So this is the reason Satyanarayana was talking, the Microsoft CEO was talking about the SaaS is going to be dead. That doesn't mean the SaaS application is not there basically. What it means is basically you're going to have a lot of enterprise operators coming up which can do all those things for you on the enterprise data and then come back and give the report.
Hmm.
So today, you have a lot of predefined stuff,
Yeah.
right? So here, you're not doing a predefined stuff. So you are asking what it needs to be done, and it's going to take a time because it is a background process. So it's not going to give you an immediate answer. So you can give the prompt and then you can wait for some time. Maybe it'll take 5 minutes or it'll take 7 minutes, and then once it's finished, it will come back and tell, okay, this is what, and then it'll give you complete stuff. So these things will completely change the way the enterprise, the top leadership, the way the things work in enterprise basically.
Now, coming to this kind of adoption of AI and ChatGPT solutions that are coming up, what are the top three AI trends CEOs or business owners cannot afford to ignore in specifically in 2025?
See, like I said, no, the concept of operators, what ChatGPT introduced, right, which is basically a consumer facing.
Hmm.
Same thing will happen from enterprise perspective.
Okay.
Right, it can do the internal stuff. So there's going to be a huge amount of software development from this perspective. It's going to happen. So that's one area, right? And then you can have mostly I think almost every you can say enterprise software, right, can get augmented with all these AI agents coming up. right, with the concept of operators and everything.
So one was what I heard about was threat intelligence piece, right, on the
Mm-hmm.
AI side, where
From
I
security.
yeah, security side, where I think incident management with a strong KMDB is
Mm-hmm.
what AI is looking at the moment, where they can predict some of the things and say this is error if you tell or you put a chatbot. And the first level of screening of that pointers is happening with AI for instant managers, is what I understand. Your take on it?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, the entire concept of support, right,
Mhm.
and instant management, right? There's going to be a big change happening in on those areas, basically.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
See, the operators ChatGPT has announced right a week ago, right? The video link which that
Mhm.
just killed the RPA word, robotic process automation. All
Okay.
the companies, right? Right. The moment they would have watched that ChatGPT video, right? They
Mhm.
all going to be, dead basically in the next few years' time because whatever you have the RPA programmers and everything, right? So here nothing. Any web page it can understand and it can do the stuff.
Yeah. So I think that's a real game changer for how should leaders rethink hiring, training, and upskilling in a world where AI is reshaping job roles itself. Araf?
Yeah, so now I think when you look at like for example, let me just give example. Sometime back, like you consider. When I say sometime back, maybe a few decades back, right? Proficiency in computer, right? It's in bonus as a
Hmm.
skill set,
Okay.
right? Now, when you take a fresh graduate, right? Somebody who's used AI in day-to-day life will be
Hmm.
considered as because that means the person is already in a different level altogether in terms of learning new things, right, understanding new things, right, so that's be one thing, when you look at when you want to look for the resources basically.
Yeah, I got that point. Can you give one piece of advice for freshers and mid-level professionals adopting AI, and what would it be?
Yeah, see, what there's a big cultural change happening because of the introduction of the AI tools. Like
Hmm.
previously, I don't know if it is a predominant culture or anything. If you say, okay, tell me what to do, I'll do it.
Hmm.
That is gone because
Yeah.
now you can learn things by yourself, and you can go back and say, okay, this is what I can do. This is the way we can improve stuff. So rather than being reactive, right, you have to be proactive in nature basically,
Hmm.
right? So now
Okay.
it is much easier to become proactive because we don't need somebody else support to learn anything. You can learn
Yeah.
things by yourself,
True. True.
right? So that's
Yeah.
a big change, so if you embrace that change, right, I'm not waiting for something, so and because only then I'll do something instead of that, I'm going to learn whatever is required, and I'm going to
I think
proactively.
your point is very valid when you said, right? When you said now nobody is there to tell you, because when we started our careers, we had to get a
Mhm.
book to learn something, right? Go
That's
to
right.
bookstore, get a book, read that book, understand. We did not have any places where we can test our knowledge and stuff like that, right? Today it is
Mhm.
not that case. Now if you go to some of the online courses, they also give you a test lab for some testing, right? That's
Mhm.
kind of a training that has changed the overall model of learning itself. Now if you want to learn, earlier we had to find an institute, pay hefty amounts of money to get one course and get certified. Today I think what we are seeing is it is all e-learning modules that are there, on the go models. When you don't need to sit in a place and learn, right? That culture is changed. You
Uh,
are right in that point of. Now
Absolutely.
with that, one AI driven initiative you've seen truly inspired you, and should companies adopt similar approaches? Any thoughts around it?
Mm. See, Actually, if you look at again, this could be a little bit a controversial topic. Okay,
Mhm.
and one thing what I seen in India, I mean, we're not that fond of research.
Hmm.
Okay, we are just I mean, somehow we are a little hesitant to do research or spend time in research and everything. Okay,
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
there's I mean, like I said, the Chinese announcement on deep seek, right, welcome the entire world now, especially in India, right, and now the lot of announcements from the government side on AI research and everything, right.
Yeah.
So one big change this entire momentum can bring in is, we can spend a lot of time in doing research, right, and that actually, see, only research will get you new stuff,
Yeah.
right. Otherwise, what will be what's going to happen is, we're going to always following somebody else.
Yeah, we don't see it as an independent thing where we can build something new and enhance something else, right? So otherwise, it is the same old story that we are talking about and same old pieces of work that we are doing.
Exactly. So this is an opportunity for us to spend more time in research, and then find new things, and then show to the world, this is from our side basically.
Now, one final question that I have in terms of, see, most of the pointer that we are talking is depend on mind shift, right? Or
Yes.
mindset, right?
Yeah.
That we can have to shift from what would be the biggest mindset shift people need to make about AI to thrive into the future of work, especially because it talks more about work and stuff, right? So what is that?
No, it just uh, I mean, it just not work, right? I mean, it could be anything, right? It could be work, it could be entertainment, right? It could be I mean, so let's say if you like movies, you can and if you like certain movies, you can say, okay, is there any similar movies or similar genre or similar thing, in Hollywood, or all right. So there's a lot of stuff you can do basically, right? Or you can do a research on if you like cooking, right? I mean, I mean, you take any domain, right? Now you don't have to depend upon anyone to learn anything,
Yeah, true.
right? So that should be a very powerful motivator, right? Now, like I said, everybody should have their personal AI.
No, I was thinking when you said that pointer where it can be movies and stuff. Now, I think on a basic level with all the streaming softwares of the Prime, let it be Amazon Prime or Netflix, and they are coming up with that kind of a set where you see one movie, then it will
Hmm.
start suggesting you something the similar, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is, earlier we had to type a lot of things to type the full name and stuff. Now you just say, okay, Google or Netflix, open that cam, this one, mic, and you tell the name of it. It will search all the places and let you know which platform this movie is streaming. And that way, I think that's one kind of an AI feature we can talk about. Or
Yeah, yeah. So if you look at those kind of, when the features, which was there in the past, but it's all getting much better, much sophisticated right now, right? So the bottom line, this is going to be part of our day to day life. It's not something new, or it's not something right, right? Because now everybody's got a smartphone in their pocket, right? And then these things, like I said, what DeepSeek did is, they made it completely free, because even ChatGPT, right, it's costly,
hmm,
right? So ChatGPT, let's say $2,000, 2,000 rupees per month subscription,
hmm,
right? Features are free in DeepSeek,
okay,
right? So anybody, DeepSeek is, and again, DeepSeek is going to be getting hosted in India, right, and Indian servers, right? So if there's anybody has got a privacy concern, okay, or is our data going to China, and if it is getting hosted in India, right, then it is not going to China. It's in Indian servers basically.
so I was having that question saying that we had a lot of threats when we look at intelligence from China and stuff. When you talk about deep seek, how is the privacy and the security settings, then that you answered. With this, I think we are done with our questions that I have. I just have taken some pointers on what we spoke about. I'll just
Mhm.
summarize rough. So we
Okay.
started with an understanding of AI, specifically agentic AI and human
Mhm.
connection.
Mhm.
Then we went to some of the use cases and real world impact, challenges and disruptions.
Mhm.
AI with empathy in leadership, we spoke about. Innovation and thinking out of the box is what we spoke something about. And we also touched about some business insights and CEO insights, owners insight, business owner and CEOs insights. Then we had a call for action where lessons learned, advice, and call for to action was some of things that they have to learn. What is that we should look at a mind shift side when you are adapting to AI, and some advice to the freshers, to the mid-level professionals in adopting AI and what it would be. So these are the pointers that we discussed in today's session. And any last minute pointers that you want to add before we conclude the session?
No, I think this sounds good. I mean, and then my last point, just embrace AI, right? Don't hesitate, doing that, right? And it will be part of your, day-to-day activities, because that's what we're going to see from 2020. There's going to be huge impact what AI is going to do, to the rest of the world, basically.
Okay, thank you for that, Raf. So we have streamed this session to LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram simultaneously, and it is live on all the four platforms. We hope you found this discussion valuable, and thank you for joining us on LinkedIn Live. And the next episode that is scheduled is on the 206th episode, which is Crisis Resilience. Get it fixed in 2025 at 6:30 p.m. IST uh, tomorrow. Looking forward to see you. Bye for now. Good day, Araf. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you, Prem. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.